The vast observation chamber hummed with nervous energy as Admiral Tai reviewed the footage of humanity's first contact with the Galactic Empire. His scales glittered under the blue light of the holographic display as images of Earth's primitive-looking vessels flickered before the Imperial Council. "These humans appear underdeveloped," remarked High Counselor Neri, her elongated fingers tapping impatiently on the obsidian table. "Their vessels are crude, their technology centuries behind our own." "With respect, Counselor," Tai countered, "notice how their ships move during the encounter. That level of maneuverability suggests propulsion systems we don't fully understand." The Council dismissed his concerns with practiced indifference. Only Ta noticed the unusual radiation signatures emanating from the human vessels, energy patterns that defied Imperial classification. Later that cycle, Tai secretly dispatched Dr. Suk, the Empire's leading xenobiologist, to study these curious beings further. What she discovered sent tremors of unease through her typically steady hands. Humans possessed unprecedented genetic adaptability and survival instincts unlike any species in the catalogued galaxy. Dr. Suk stood alone in her laboratory aboard the Imperial science vessel. The ship hung in the darkness of space at the edge of the Sol system, cloaked from human detection. She had been observing Earth for 3 standard weeks now. Her slender fingers moved across the control panel, adjusting the parameters of her scanning equipment. The readings made no sense. She checked them again and again. "Computer, verify genetic sequencing from specimen collection Alpha through Delta," she said. The computer hummed. "Verification complete. All readings consistent with original analysis." Suk's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep distress among her species. She had collected genetic samples from 47 humans across different regions of Earth. The results defied everything she knew about evolutionary biology. The laboratory door hissed open. Admiral Ta entered, his uniform pristine despite the late hour. "You requested an urgent meeting, Doctor," he said. Suk gestured to the display. "The humans are impossible, Admiral." "Explain." "Their genetic structure contains dormant sequences I've never seen before. They appear to be adaptive mechanisms, but far more complex than anything in our records." She pulled up comparative displays. Most species evolved specific adaptations to their environments over millions of years. Humans have potential adaptations for environments they've never encountered. Tom moved closer to the screen. "What does this mean?" "It means they could potentially adapt to any environment, even ones that would kill most species. And there's more." She switched the display. "Their cellular repair mechanisms are extraordinary. With the right triggers, they could heal from injuries that would be fatal to us." "Are they dangerous?" Tai asked. Suk hesitated. "Not currently. These gene sequences are dormant. But if activated, what could activate them? Extreme stress, survival situations, perhaps certain technologies we don't yet understand." Tai's scales shifted color slightly, a subtle signal of concern. "The Council believes humans are primitive, easy to control or eliminate if necessary." "The Council is wrong," Suk said firmly. "There's something else. Look at their brain scans." The display changed to show neural patterns. Humans only use a small percentage of their brain capacity, yet they've achieved spaceflight and rudimentary AI. Their neural density suggests potential for abilities we can't predict. Tai was silent for a long moment. "We need more information before informing the Council. Their standard procedure would be immediate quarantine or elimination of the species." Suk nodded. "I need live specimens, Admiral. Observation can only tell us so much. Capturing humans would violate our non-interference protocols for pre-integration species. With respect, Admiral, we may be dealing with something unprecedented. If these dormant genetic sequences activated..." She didn't finish the sentence. Tai made a decision. "I'll arrange it. A small team, maximum discretion. Choose your targets carefully." 2 days later, in a remote forest on Earth, 3 humans hiked along a mountain trail. They were scientists conducting environmental research, unaware of the cloaked vessel hovering silently above them. "The wildlife readings are strange here," said one, checking his instruments. His companion looked up at the sky. "Weather's turning. We should head back." The third member of their team stopped suddenly. "Do you hear that?" A soft hum filled the air. The trees around them seemed to shimmer slightly. "Earthquake," suggested the first scientist. Before anyone could respond, a beam of blue light surrounded them. The humans felt their bodies become weightless as they were lifted upward into darkness. On the bridge of his command ship, Admiral Ta received the confirmation. "Specimens acquired. Begin testing immediately," he ordered, "and expand our surveillance network. I want to know everything about human military capabilities." His second-in-command approached cautiously. "Sir, the Council has requested your presence at tomorrow's session. They're discussing the integration timeline for the Sol system." Tay's scales darkened. "They're moving too quickly. We barely understand these beings. The resources on Earth are considerable. Several Council members have already invested in extraction operations." Tay turned to the viewport, looking toward the distant blue planet. "Tell Dr. Suk to accelerate her research. I need concrete evidence before I can oppose the Council's plans." Later, in the holding cells, the three captured humans awoke. They found themselves in separate transparent chambers, being observed by creatures they had never imagined. Dr. Suk watched their reactions carefully. Fear, confusion, anger, all expected responses. But one of the humans, a female, was already studying her surroundings with remarkable focus, seemingly cataloging every detail. "Begin stress tests," Suk instructed her team. "Start with environmental variables: temperature, pressure, atmosphere composition." As the parameters in the chambers began to change, Suk's instruments detected something unexpected. The humans' dormant genes were already showing signs of activity. "Impossible," she whispered. "The triggers shouldn't be this sensitive." On her monitor, the female human's eyes met hers directly. There was something in that gaze that made Suk deeply uneasy. Not fear or confusion, but a sudden, fierce intelligence that seemed to look right through her. The Empire had made a terrible mistake. They had believed humans to be primitive. They were about to discover just how wrong they were. The metal floor of Research Station Epsilon vibrated with the hum of powerful machinery. Captain Jin opened his eyes slowly, his head pounding. The bright white light above him made him squint. He tried to move his arms, but thick restraints held him to a cold metal table. "The mailed is awake," said a voice that didn't sound human. Jin turned his head. Through a clear wall, he saw tall figures with scaled skin watching him. Their eyes, 4 on each face, blinked in strange patterns. "Where are my crew?" Jin asked, his voice hoarse. The aliens didn't answer. One of them, wearing a dark uniform with silver markings, spoke into a device. "Begin the atmospheric tests on Subject 1." Jin heard a hissing sound. The air around him changed, becoming thicker and harder to breathe. His chest tightened. The aliens watched him, taking notes as he gasped for air. "Oxygen levels now at 15%, announced a computerized voice. Jin's vision blurred. He thought of Hannah and Du, the other members of his exploration team. Were they alive? Were they suffering the same tests? Just as darkness started to close in, the air cleared. Jin gulped in deep breaths. "Remarkable," said the alien in charge. "His oxygen adaptation is faster than predicted. Move to temperature variation." In the next chamber, Navigator Hannah fought against her own restraints. The room had become incredibly cold. Frost formed on the walls and on her eyebrows. She had been trained for extreme conditions, but nothing like this. Subject 2 showing minimal distress at -40 degrees, noted Chief Scientist Rim, watching through the observation window. Increase cold. Hannah felt her body starting to shut down. Then something strange happened. Deep inside her, something awakened, a warmth that spread through her limbs. Her mind cleared, and the cold suddenly felt less severe. The aliens murmured in surprise when their readings showed her core temperature stabilizing. In a third chamber, Science Officer Do endured his own torture. Blinding lights flashed at different speeds and colors, designed to trigger seizures in most species. Do's head felt like it would split open. Then, suddenly, his perception changed. He could see patterns in the lights, mathematical sequences, information. By the 10th day, the 3 humans had survived tests that should have killed them many times over. The aliens increased the severity, fascinated by the humans' resilience. Their cellular structure is changing, Rim told his team. Their bodies are adapting to everything we subject them to. On the 17th day, Rim ordered the gravity tests. The chamber housing Hannah was modified to increase gravitational force. Begin at 2 times Earth gravity, Rim instructed. Hannah felt the crushing weight press down on her. Breathing became difficult. Moving was nearly impossible. But again, something inside her shifted and adjusted. Increase to 4 times Earth gravity, ordered Rim. The pressure intensified. Hannah's bones should have broken. Her organs should have failed. Instead, she felt a strange tingling throughout her body, a buzzing energy building in her cells. 6 times Earth gravity, Rim said, his 4 eyes wide with scientific curiosity. The crushing force pressed down. Hannah felt her consciousness expand. The energy inside her pushed outward. And then, defying all physics, her body lifted off the table. Impossible, whispered Rim, checking his instruments. She's levitating. Hannah floated several inches above the table, her restraints the only thing keeping her from rising higher. Her eyes opened, glowing with an inner light. Rim stepped back from the observation window. Shut it down. Return gravity to normal. As the gravity normalized, Hannah remained floating. In her mind, something had opened, a door to abilities she never knew existed. She could feel the thoughts of the aliens watching her. She could sense Jin and Do in their chambers. And she could reach much, much further. That night, as the station's lights dimmed for the night cycle, Hannah lay on her table, eyes closed. But her mind was active, stretching across space, searching for a connection to Earth. General Sun sat in her office at Earth's Unified Defense Command, reviewing reports of 3 missing explorers. Their ship had disappeared near the edge of charted space 2 weeks ago. Search teams had found nothing. Sun rubbed her tired eyes. As she stood to leave for the night, a strange sensation washed over her. Her vision blurred, and then words formed in her mind. Asterisk, we are being held. We are changing. They don't understand what they've awakened. Prepare. Asterisk. Sun gasped, steadying herself against her desk. The message repeated, accompanied by images. A research facility. Strange aliens with scaled skin, and faces she recognized. Captain Jin, Navigator Hannah, and Science Officer Do. She hit the emergency alert button on her desk. Assemble the Joint Chiefs immediately. We have contact with our missing crew. Back on Research Station Epsilon, Rim reviewed the day's data with growing concern. The human called Do had begun processing information at impossible speeds. When shown alien mathematics as a test, he had not only understood it but improved upon it. Jin had demonstrated enhanced strength, breaking through restraints that could hold creatures 3 times his size before being subdued again. And Hannah frightened him most of all. The scanner showed unusual activity in her brain, peaks of energy that defied explanation. We need to inform the Imperial Council, said Rim's assistant. These humans are developing abilities we've never seen in any species. Rim nodded slowly. Begin preparation for deeper testing. Brain tissue samples, genetic extraction. We need to understand how this is happening. In their separate chambers, the 3 humans sensed each other's presence. Through Hannah's newly awakened abilities, they communicated silently. Asterisk, they plan to dissect us tomorrow. Asterisk, Hannah told the others. Asterisk, if mapped the entire station, asterisk, replied Do. Asterisk, I can see it all in my mind, every corridor, every system. Asterisk. Asterisk, I can break through these new restraints, asterisk, added Jin. I just need a moment when they're not watching. Asterisk. Hannah reached out again, this time to General Sun. Asterisk. They don't know what they've done to us. The changes are accelerating. Tonight, we act. If we don't return, know this. Humans have potential beyond imagination. The Empire has awakened something they cannot control. Asterisk. In his private quarters, Rim dreamed of humans with glowing eyes and impossible powers. He woke suddenly, feeling watched. The room was empty, but on his datapad, words had appeared in human language, then translated to Imperial script. You should have left us alone. The lights dimmed in Research Station Epsilon as the night cycle began. In his isolated chamber, Captain Jin lay still, eyes closed, appearing to sleep. But his mind was fully alert. When he opened his eyes, the world looked different. As he stared at the reinforced restraints binding his wrists, he could see them in a new way. Thin lines of light revealed stress points and molecular weaknesses in the metal. Jin blinked in surprise. This new vision had been developing for days, but never this clearly. Asterisk, can you both hear me? Asterisk, Hannah's voice sounded in his mind. Asterisk, yes. Asterisk, Jin answered silently, still amazed by their new ability to communicate this way. Asterisk, I am here, asterisk, came Du's reply. In his own chamber, Science Officer Du experienced something equally strange. His thoughts moved faster than ever before. He could process massive amounts of information in seconds. As he lay on his table, he mentally mapped the entire station from glimpses he had seen during transfers between test chambers. He calculated patrol patterns based on the footsteps he heard passing his door. Asterisk, give time the guard rotations. Asterisk, Du communicated. Asterisk, there's a 3-second gap in surveillance at exactly midnight when they switch shifts. Asterisk. Asterisk, tonight, asterisk, Hannah decided. Asterisk, we need to move before they begin their dissections tomorrow. Asterisk. Jin tested his new vision on the walls around him. He could see power conduits running behind them, and the weak points in the door mechanism. Asterisk, I can get us out of our chambers, asterisk, he confirmed. Asterisk. What then? Asterisk. Asterisk, level 6 has the shuttle bay, asterisk, Du answered. Asterisk. There's a transport ship being prepped for departure. I memorized the access codes when they transferred me yesterday. Asterisk. Asterisk, I can cloud their minds, asterisk, Hannah added. Asterisk, not many at once, but enough to help us avoid detection. Asterisk. They waited. Minutes turned to hours. Jin counted his heartbeats to track the time. At precisely midnight, Jin focused on his restraints. He could see exactly where to apply pressure. With a quick, powerful movement, he snapped the supposedly unbreakable bonds. The sound was barely louder than a breath. Jin moved to the door. He placed his fingers exactly where the locking mechanism was weakest and pushed. The metal groaned, and then gave way. The corridor was empty, just as Du had predicted. Jin moved silently to Hannah's chamber first, then Du's, freeing them both. We have approximately 4 minutes before the next patrol, Du whispered, his eyes moving rapidly as he calculated their route. They moved through the dim corridors. At a junction, Du held up his hand. Guards approaching. 3 of them. Hannah stepped forward, her eyes glowing slightly. As the guards rounded the corner, they looked directly at the 3 humans but showed no reaction. They walked past, as if seeing nothing. Their minds are simple to redirect, Hannah whispered, but it won't work on the more advanced beings. They reached a secure door. Du placed his hand on the control panel. Numbers and patterns flashed in his mind. The code changes every 30 seconds based on a mathematical sequence, he said. The next code will be now. He entered the sequence. The door slid open. They encountered 2 more patrols on their way to level 6. Each time, Hannah clouded their perceptions while Jin and Du moved them gently out of the way. The alarm finally sounded when they reached the shuttle bay. They've discovered the empty chambers, Du said. A group of security officers rushed toward them, weapons raised. Jin stepped forward. With his enhanced vision, he could see the weak points in their armor and weapons. He moved with incredible speed, striking precisely where needed to disable rather than kill. Within seconds, all 5 officers lay unconscious. The shuttle. Du pointed to a sleek vessel near the launch tube. They ran to it. The door was locked, but Jin simply pulled it open, metal bending under his grip. Inside, Du sat at the controls. His eyes moved rapidly over the alien symbols and displays. "I understand it," he said with wonder. "The control systems follow logical patterns. It's actually quite simple." Hana placed her hands on both her companion's shoulders. "More guards coming. I'll try to hold them back mentally." The shuttle's engines hummed to life. Du's fingers flew over the controls, initiating launch sequences that should have taken a trained Imperial pilot minutes to complete. The bay doors remained closed. "They've locked down the station," Jin said. Du smiled slightly. "Not a problem." He accessed the station's central computer through the shuttle's communication system, his mind processing the alien code faster than any computer. Within seconds, the bay doors began to open. The shuttle shot forward into space just as Chief Scientist Rim reached the bay, his 4 eyes wide with shock. "Alert the fleet," he shouted into his communicator. "The humans have escaped." Admiral Ta received the message while in his command ship 2 systems away. His scales darkened with anger and fear. "Deploy all available vessels to intercept," he ordered. "These humans cannot reach their homeworld." 30 Imperial warships converged on the escaping shuttle. On the main view screen of Ta's command ship, the small human vessel appeared. "Target their engines," Ta ordered. "Disable, don't destroy." Weapons locked on. But something strange happened. The shuttle moved in ways that should have been impossible, evading every shot with perfect precision. Inside the shuttle, Du flew with his eyes half closed. He could see the attack patterns forming in the minds of the Imperial captains before their weapons fired. Jin stood behind him, pointing out structural weaknesses in the pursuing ships. "There," Jin said. "Their main power conduits are exposed on the underside. A glancing hit would disable them without casualties." Hana sat in quiet concentration, her mind reaching out to confused communications officers on the Imperial ships, creating small distractions and hesitations. The shuttle spun and dove, moving like no vessel its size should be able to move. It slipped between larger ships, causing them to nearly collide with each other. "They're herding us toward the gravity well of that gas giant," Du observed. "They think we'll be trapped." Jin smiled. "Show them how wrong they are." Du aimed the shuttle directly at the planet. The Imperial fleet followed, believing they had the humans cornered. At the last possible moment, Du executed a maneuver that sent the shuttle skimming along the planet's upper atmosphere, using its gravity to slingshot around at incredible speed. The pursuing ships couldn't react fast enough. Several were caught in the planet's gravitational pull, their engines straining to break free. As they shot past the struggling Imperial ships, Jin directed precise shuttle fire at the weak points he could see. One by one, half the Imperial fleet lost power, drifting helplessly. "Admiral," reported an officer on Ta's command ship, "they're targeting exactly the right spots to disable our vessels without destroying them. It's as if they can see our structural designs." On the view screen, Ta watched in disbelief as the shuttle disappeared into the darkness of space, jumping to faster than light speed. 3 days later, Ta stood before the Imperial Council, his scales pale with exhaustion. "They knew exactly where to strike," he reported to the increasingly concerned council members. "As if they could see our weaknesses like glowing beacons. No species we've encountered has ever displayed such abilities." High Counselor Neri's fingers trembled slightly. "Where are they now?" "Unknown," Tai admitted, "but they have the coordinates of their homeworld. If they return to Earth." The council chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. The Empire had inadvertently created something new and powerful, humans with godlike abilities, and soon they would tell others of their kind what had been done to them. As tension crept across the planet, General Sun gathered her most trusted military leaders in a secure command center. Her eyes were intense, her voice cutting through the hushed room as she shared Hannah's urgent telepathic warning. The Empire was not just a distant threat. They were a genuine danger to humanity's survival. Chancellor Jun, a veteran strategist with weathered hands and sharp eyes, listened intently. Without hesitation, he uttered two critical words that would change everything. Activate Project Dawn. Beneath the world's oceans and hidden within disguised asteroid bases, something extraordinary began to stir. Massive spacecraft, built using mysterious technologies discovered on Mars decades earlier, hummed with power. These were not ordinary vessels. They represented humanity's secret weapon, carefully constructed and kept completely hidden from the Empire's watchful eyes. Around the globe, military personnel rolled up their sleeves and received special injections. This wasn't a standard vaccination, but a carefully engineered serum designed to unlock humanity's hidden genetic potential. Scientists had studied Hannah, Jin, and Du's remarkable abilities and created a method to safely awaken similar capabilities in others. In the Imperial Intelligence Headquarters, analysts reviewed their reports and saw only what they wanted to see. Enhanced industrial activity and military exercises seemed routine, just another planet preparing standard defenses. The intelligence director confidently reported to the Emperor that there was nothing unusual happening in the Sol system. What they didn't realize was that humanity was undergoing a controlled, deliberate transformation. The seemingly normal preparations masked a profound evolutionary leap, a strategic response designed to level the playing field against a technologically superior enemy. General Sun watched the preparations with a mixture of hope and determination. Every soldier, every scientist, every citizen was now part of a grand, unified effort to protect their species. The serum flowing through their veins represented more than just a medical breakthrough. It was humanity's declaration of resilience. The Empire believed they were facing a predictable, technologically inferior civilization. They were wrong. Humanity was about to show them the true meaning of adaptation, of survival, of unexpected potential. As machinery powered up and genetic sequences awakened, the first phase of humanity's ultimate defense began. Silent, strategic, and unstoppable. The silence of Proxima Centauri's fourth planet was suddenly shattered by an unexpected invasion. 20 sleek human spacecraft appeared without warning, their dark hulls blending into the starry background. Base Commander Yule realized the threat too late. Within moments, human soldiers were teleporting directly into the command center. These were not ordinary soldiers. They moved with incredible speed, their skin seeming to become harder than metal when struck by weapons. Imperial troops watched in shock as some humans used mysterious mental powers to disarm them without even touching their weapons. Others displayed superhuman strength, ripping through thick security doors as if they were made of thin paper. Admiral Song's voice echoed not through speakers, but directly inside the minds of the Imperial leadership. His message was clear and chilling. You thought we were weak. You were wrong. The Imperial base, which had been considered completely unbreakable and housed over 15,000 troops, fell in less than an hour. Soldiers who moments ago believed themselves invincible now scrambled in total panic. In the distant Imperial palace, the Emperor watched security footage that made his blood run cold. Humans were blocking energy weapon attacks with their bodies. They were lifting objects many times their own weight. Some seemed to predict attacks before they even happened. His science advisor whispered in terror, "They aren't using advanced technology. This is happening through their bodies, their minds." For the first time in 800 years, the Galactic Empire faced a threat that could not be predicted or easily defeated. Humanity had transformed from a seemingly simple species to something entirely unexpected and dangerous. The Emperor's hand shook slightly as he activated the Empire-wide emergency broadcast. The message was simple: prepare for a war unlike any they had ever fought before. Humanity had awakened, and their journey was just beginning.